Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're diving deep into what has been happening with Monad Coin, especially as we move into Thursday morning. Even though I don't have any charts or visuals to display on screen, I'll walk you through everything in a clear, story-style breakdown so you can follow the entire market movement simply by listening. We'll look at price action, on-chain behavior, ecosystem growth, TVL expansion, market psychology, and the important resistance levels that continue to influence Monad in the short term. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, settle in, and let's break this down step by step. This is not financial advice. Please do your own research before making any decisions. So let's start with the immediate picture. As we transition into Thursday morning, the broader crypto market has pulled back slightly over the last few hours. Nothing dramatic, just the sort of minor cooling you typically see after a few strong days of upward momentum. Across the board, traders are taking small profits, and the market is recalibrating before choosing its next direction. But despite the short-term softness, the bigger picture for the last 3 days remains very positive. The market has mostly been trending upward, and we've seen a healthy amount of enthusiasm returning, especially for mid-cap and emerging ecosystem tokens. Now, focusing on Monad Coin, things actually look better than you might expect from the overall market tone. While some assets are stalling, Monad is currently up around 2.2% against the US dollar and up nearly 2.8% against Bitcoin, which is always a good indicator of relative strength. As of the moment I'm recording this update, Monad is priced right around 0.03, which is a noticeable improvement from yesterday's level of 0.028. That may sound like a small difference, but percentage-wise, it represents a solid bounce, which tells us buyers did step in at lower levels. The market cap is hovering near $327 million, and the 24-hour trading volume is extremely strong at approximately $318 million. That kind of volume compared to market cap tells you one thing clearly: this is an active token right now. A lot of traders, both retail and potentially a few whales, are getting involved. As always, we're keeping a close eye on the on-chain data to see if activity is matching the price action, because strong price moves without real ecosystem growth usually don't last. And here's where things get even more interesting. Exactly as I've been forecasting over the last several updates, Monad's ecosystem usage is consistently increasing, even though the token itself has not yet made a new all-time high. The chain is gaining traction step by step, transaction by transaction. And this is why the TVL, total value locked number, matters so much. TVL represents real liquidity, real user activity, and real interest. It reflects what builders and investors think about the long-term utility of the chain, far beyond short-term price swings. At the moment, Monad's TVL has climbed to a new all-time high, approaching the $200 million mark. And this raises the big question: could Monad eventually climb to $1 billion in TVL? To give you perspective, a project like Sui currently sits around $1 billion in TVL. So if Monad reaches that level during a bullish market phase, that would be a remarkable milestone and could dramatically shift how the broader crypto community evaluates the project. Now, when comparing TVL to token valuation, something important stands out. The TVL is already more than half of Monad's current market capitalization, around 60–70%, depending on the exact moment you calculate. That is rare for a young ecosystem token. It means people are locking real value into applications built on the chain, not just trading the token. But let's address something people often misunderstand: FDV versus market cap. Many newcomers in crypto get confused because they see the fully diluted valuation and assume the token is overpriced. But those numbers don't mean what people think they mean. FDV calculates the valuation if every coin that will ever exist is already unlocked and circulating. In Monad's case, the total supply is 100 billion coins, but the circulating supply right now is only about 10.8 billion EUs. That's barely a bit over 10% of the total supply. So FDV will naturally look high, but the current market cap, the number that truly reflects today's valuation, is based only on circulating supply. If all 100 billion coins were circulating right now, yes, the market cap at 0.03 would be around $3 billion. But they are not circulating, and that's why the real valuation is around $327 million. FDV only becomes important when there are major token vesting events or unlock events approaching, because that's when supply increases and prices may become vulnerable. That's why tokenomics matters so much. Now, let's jump back to the price action because the charts tell a very clear story. Bitcoin dominance saw a sharp pullback last night. For altcoins, that's usually a good thing because it means liquidity rotates back into smaller assets. Bitcoin itself is still looking strong, sitting inside the 0.50 Fibonacci zone. Back to Monad. I'll break down BTC in a separate market update, but just keep in mind, Bitcoin's strength often sets the stage for altcoin behavior. The resistance level at 0.033 continues to be the biggest barrier. I've highlighted this level many times, and once again, price tested this exact zone yesterday and immediately reversed. The rejection triggered a sharp 15 to 16% drop. That type of movement isn't surprising in small cap tokens because they are more easily moved by big orders. And that's the key point. Monad has a small market cap, which means its price can swing dramatically with just one or two whales making moves. You don't need hundreds of massive buyers to create volatility. Sometimes a single large wallet can influence price in a measurable way. A real-time example of that happened recently when price dipped to roughly 0.028 and then surged nearly 18% back toward resistance. That type of movement shows both volatility and interest. Right now, Monad is holding support at 0.03, which is a critical level. As long as this support holds, the market structure stays intact. But here's the big takeaway. If Monad breaks above 0.033, I believe we could see price begin pushing toward 0.037 and potentially toward the psychological 0.04 resistance zone. That 4-cent level is extremely important. It has the potential to flip momentum in a major way for Monad. So, to wrap everything up, the overall market saw a mild pullback, but the broader trend remains healthy. Monad is up against both USD and BTC pairs despite market softness. Trading volume is extremely strong compared to market cap. TVL keeps climbing, approaching $200 million, a major bullish signal. FDV should not be confused with current market valuation. Monad continues to face major resistance near 0.033. A breakout above that level could drive the price towards 0.037ers and even the 4-cent zone. Support at 3 cents remains critical for short-term momentum. Even without visuals or charts, the story is clear. Monad's ecosystem is growing, the community is active, and the next major move will depend on how price interacts with that 3.30-cent resistance zone. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe for more daily crypto insights. Catch you in the next one. Stay crypto smart.